Hello everyone, this is Jagrati Soni from MA 3rd SEM from Mata Jijabai Government PG College, Indore. And today I am going to give a presentation on immersion as an essayist. And this presentation is guided by Professor Dr. Vandana Mishra ma'am. So now let's begin it. First of all, we will study some points about immersion. He born on May 25, 1803 in Boston, Massachusetts, US and died on 27 April 1882 at the age of 78 in Concord, Massachusetts, US. His era was 19th century philosophy and religion was Western philosophy. Movement and style was American Renaissance, Transcendentalism. Main interests were individualism and mysticism. Awards and honors he won was Hall of Fame for Great Americans in 1900. Here is one quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, that is, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." And this is a very famous quote by Emerson. Now on the next slide we will study Emerson as an essayist in these following points as per one by one as on the each slide. And first point is display of wisdom, second is categories of Emerson's essays, third is basic thought, fourth is Emerson's comparison, fifth is qualities of Emerson's essays, sixth is use of stylistic devices, seventh is sublime thought, eighth is form, ninth is loose construction, and the last one is philosophical style. First is display of wisdom. His essays are replete with wisdom. He was an intellectual, a deep thinker, and an eloquent speaker. His essays contain deep thoughts which run in the reader's mind. Thoreau, Emerson, Whitman, they are all good citizens of the 19th century and of the West. In the back of their work, all three writers built of Native American material and embodied American attitudes, especially the concept of individualism and self-reliance. Next slide is about categories of Emerson's essays. There are some categories of Emerson's essays which are like this. From the thematic point of view, Emerson's essays can be categorized into three major categories. His essays like self-reliance, compensation, spiritual thoughts, the oversoul, circles, experience, nature and realist can be taken as essays of the first category. These essays are of as first category deal with the description of the universe and its laws. Love, prudence, heroism, character and manners fall under the second category. The essays of this second category analyze the moral faculties in human relationship in general. The essays of the third category are history, art, the poet, politics and New England reformers. Here particular problems of experience have been taken to discuss. So these are the three main categories. Now next slide is about basic thought. Emerson never deviates from his basic thought. This basic thought remains the same in his lectures and essays. A great scholar points out his essays are twice born. Out of the journals came his lectures, and out of his lectures came his essays. It is said that Emerson's essays are the scriptures of thought. They form a catalogue of wisdom. Every statement stimulates thought because it is suggestive as well as expressive. Every thought is potent. Spiller says each of Emerson's essays is a finally wrought work of art into which he threw his most mature and careful effort. So he is always stick on his basic thought while he is writing anything. Now the next is Emerson's comparison. Emerson can be compared with Bacon, the father of English essay. His essays are very much like Bacon's disposed meditations. He reminds us just as often of Bacon with his confident aphorism. The fullness of the longer sentences is balanced by sharpness of epigram and the greatness of antithesis. For example, first is all things are double, one against another. Second, trust thyself. Third, life is a train of moods like a string of beads. Fourth is books are lamps to guide our steps to the east again, where the down is. The drop is small ocean. So this we can compare Emerson with the Bacon like this. And our next slide is about qualities of Emerson's essays. The sentence of Emerson's essays are remarkable for their force, subtlety, impressiveness, and poetical beauty. The imaginary is of great range from the sun and stars down to the meanest weed or insect. The diction is quaint and original. As an essayist, Emerson has used several stylistic devices such as figures of speech, analogy, antithetically balanced sentences, epigrams, aphorism, and rhetorical devices. A scholar comments on the use of these various devices like the aptness of analogy in him means in Emerson is reinforced by artistry of expression. The next slide is about use of stylistic devices which Emerson has used. So here it is. He has used a number of stylistic devices such as figures of speech, analogy, antithetically balanced sentences, epigram, rhetorical, etc. The use of these various devices can easily be illustrated from any of his essays. For example, take the following. It is one of central fire, which flaming now out of the lips of Athena lighten the caps of Sicily, and now out of the throat of Vesuvius illuminates the towers and vineyard of Naples. It is one light which beam out of thousands of stars. It is one soul which animates all men. Here, there is the fine cooperative contact achieved between the phrases, the lips of Athena and the thought of Vesuvius, and between the verbs, lightens and illuminates, enabling Emerson to repeat himself without repetition. Now we will study about sublime thought. Emerson's essays are steeped in sublime thoughts. His essays, The Poet, The Oversoul, and Self-Reliance, contain sublime thoughts. Emerson, the transcendentalist, is at his best in these essays. Next slide is about form. The essays of the English are short, but Emerson's essays are very long. His essays are a vast treatise of nature in which multitudes of argument and illustrations jostle one another for existence. On the basis of their form, his may be called lectures. The body of his essay is vast. It contains various topics under the main title. The essay, The American Scholars, cover about 15 pages. So you can imagine how vast his essays were. Now the next slide is about loose constructions. Emerson's essays are loosely constructed. His paragraphs are not based on any logical sequences. He was a great scholar. His vision was vast. As soon as he is in a position to complete a paragraph, a new vision comes up and ideas form themselves into a circle. So there is no such construction and it is totally loose. Next is philosophical style. Emerson's style for writing essays is philosophical. He unites the word of phenomena is lifted to the plane of principle. Further, a man should learn to detect and watch the gleam of light which flashes across his mind. From within, Emerson's vision draws philosophical conclusions for the readers. He writes, every thought is potent rather than purely reflective. Next slide is about Emerson as an essayist in the essay Oversoul. This is something new topic in the same PPT, and I'm going to read it out about the Oversoul. In Emerson's essay The Oversoul, he talks of his belief in God who is inside each of us and whom we can communicate with. Emerson means God to be a third party to the human race. He takes God and makes a religious being more secular by trying it to the existence of the oversoul. He expects us to recognize this presence through the manifestation of the oversoul in society. Where does our universal sense of want and ignorance stem from? Emerson argues they derive from our connection to oversoul. Here, oversoul soul is representing God. And one another quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson is here: the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Means this is the same quote, and actually this is a very famous quote, that's why it is repeated here. Now the next slide is about Emerson as an essayist in the essay Self-Reliance. We have studied Emerson as an essayist in Oversoul. Now we will study Emerson as an essayist in the Self-Reliance. In the essay Self-Reliance by Ralph Waldo Emerson, there is a particular view in which Emerson expresses to the extent of his perception of the psychological behavior of man. Emerson demonstrates a powerful emphasis as why to men rely on others and how men lose their originality in the societal world. Instead, Emerson believes that all men are divine, that every man has the potential to mold their own figures, but strangely, men choose to envy. Men choose to fit themselves in others' skin, and men choose to conform. Emerson refers to these individuals as conformists. Emerson strongly believes that living a conformist is essentially living a fake life, a life of wasted potential. Divinely, conformists are referred to as cowards, for they are afraid to uphold their genuine sincerity. One takeaway from Emerson's essay is simply: being jealous of others is essentially a waste of time. Men can learn to find their own ability because men are all unique and they all have their own potential. It is simply dependent on man to find his true desire and for him to pursue it. Now, this is all about in this slide, and thank you for watching this video.